Hey everyone, we're going to look at the first of several videos talking about our problem solution and different systems for solving problem solution types of projects. The first thing we're going to do today is look at a term called actors. Now we're going to use the same case study throughout these lectures as I have a student sample on this topic. It's on student health care, so this is going to be our case study. The general problem is that there is poor physical and mental health in college students. So we've identified a large problem, and we need to be able to understand the problem and come up with a solution for the problem. Well, the first thing we need to know are who are the actors. And actor is a term that refers to everyone who is involved in the problem. It's someone who has a stake in the problem, someone for whom the problem is will affect, for someone the problem will have an effect for. So the word can refer to either single individuals or groups of people. We use the word actor, but a group can be an actor. So to really come up with a solution that will solve a problem, we need to understand what everyone who is involved with the project thinks the problem is. What are their concerns? Otherwise, you're coming up with a sort of a brainstorming list of a lot of solutions, and each group sort of fights for their solution without taking into account what the other groups are going to need. It's kind of a muddy situation that we're trying to clarify. So who are the actors in this case study? Well, I just mentioned a few. Obviously, the students, faculty, administration, and counselors. I put the College Board, and there could be other folks as well. So we're just going to look at the first four of these. So what are the concerns and needs that students may have about physical and mental health care? So it helps to kind of jot down what might all these different individual actors need or desire or have concerns about with this general big vague problem that we've identified. So students may want to know, where can they go for help? And is that help going to be confidential? Will it be free? So you just list all the concerns that you think students might have. This could come from research, or this can come from just what you've identified on your own. What kind of concerns might faculty have? Faculty might want to know, well, how do we know when we're supposed to help a student? We have guidelines that we have to adhere to, FERPA guidelines. It has to do with students' educational rights and privacy. So it's kind of tricky. Can I talk to them about certain things? If I talk about their problems to counselors or other faculty, is that a problem? Am I violating FERPA? How do we actually approach the students? Can we require them to get help if maybe they're being disruptive in class because of a suspected mental issue? What if I'm wrong? What if I suggest counseling and I've done something wrong and made matters worse, right? So faculty might have concerns along those lines. The administration, and administration is a big catch-all word, but it's fine for what we're doing here, but they might be concerned with how do we go about offering help. We do this through classes, and this is something you'll see that the student sample is interested in setting up classes. Could we just have drop-in sessions? Should they make appointments? Are we going to have outside agencies coming into campus and offering these services, or will it be done by faculty members we already have? And who will make sure that we're not violating any laws or that we're doing things correctly? And the counselors might have their concerns. You know, they might want to know, well, how can we get this information out to students? The very practical side of it, how can we let students know what's available? Do we have enough counselors if we're going to help students ourselves? Do we need additional training? What can we and should we offer to students? Are there some things we shouldn't offer that should be left to other professionals? So each of the actors is going to see the problem in a way that affects them personally, right? So if I'm a faculty member, I may not be always thinking about what the administration is considering. I'm thinking about how this affects me as a faculty member. So I'm coming up with a problem, a specific problem, that may be very different from the types of problems that the other actors are seeing. And if there's no real common ground between all these different groups, it's going to be very difficult to come up with a solution that's going to satisfy everyone. So this is a good way to start and say, what are some of the problems? Can I see any common ground for coming up with a solution? So the students might see as the problem, we need a safe, confidential, and free place to go to get physical and mental health assistance. All right? You notice they're interested in safe, confidential, and free, right, from the student perspective. From a faculty perspective, we need to be trained to help identify students with physical and mental health problems and to know to whom to refer them for help. So faculty don't always know this is not what we're trained in, right? I'm an English instructor. I have training in composition, in literature, and in humanities. I don't have training in how to assess students' mental health needs, right? So do I need training for this? And I also need to know where to refer them if I suspect there's a problem. Administration may see as the problem that there needs to be physical and mental health services to offer to students, but it has to be done in such a way that's cost effective, obviously, to the institution and does not violate any FERPA guidelines. And finally, the counselors are just, in more general, their problem they see is they need to help students find the mental and physical help they need. Okay. So we'll look at all of those and try to come up with a solution, and we'll look at how to find common ground and determine some kind of solution in our next lecture.